Hi guys, I'm so sorry I haven't posted anything in a really long time. You know how it is, busy life, 4 children, full-time job, and then now this whole coronavirus saga. I hope everyone is keeping safe, and I only thank God that my family are healthy, and what else can you ask for? So as you can see, I'm in my car just to get some peace and quiet and to post this video. So the last video I talked about was about food intolerance test. I urge all of you who suffer from recurring erythema multiforme major / Stephen Johnson syndrome to go and have a food intolerance test. Now, I'm not really sure, actually, I'm not really sure why I decided to go and take a food intolerance test. Actually, I'm quite spiritual, so yes, I do know why I decided to take one. I was just sort of, sitting at home one day, really desperate, having an episode, and constantly thinking about this, why I had this condition and why it wasn't letting up. And I was at the stage where a lot of, I was taking prednisolone at the time and it stopped working. So I literally didn't have, an escape or any sort of reprieve from, the symptoms. So I was incessantly on the internet. And also, I was very, very prayerful at the time that I found out about this whole food intolerance test thing. And I don't know what made me type in leaky gut syndrome into, search engine, and it just came up with a whole array of things. Actually, I do know what made me type it in. It was the Holy Spirit, and I am quite spiritual, and I do believe that God talks to us in through our instincts, and I just typed it in, and this whole array of things came up. And oh my goodness. So then I decided to go to an alternative medicine practitioner, and I asked if there was a test, that I could take to basically determine if I had become intolerant to certain foods. And she tried to talk me out of it, telling me there's no such thing as leaky gut syndrome. And I was so adamant, so desperate, and just wasn't going to take any rubbish. So I just literally said to her, listen, is there a test or not? So she said, yes, there is a test. So then I paid whatever it is that I paid. I think I paid about $399, which is about £400. It's a lot of money. But it is the best money that I've ever spent in my life. And when the test came out, it came up with this whole array of things that I had become intolerant to, like egg and potatoes. I'm not really a potato person. I'm Nigerian, so I usually eat yam or whatever, but I had become intolerant to potatoes. Milk, I had always known that I was intolerant to anyway, because I've always been intolerant to, I always had like lactose intolerant ever since I was a baby. I was intolerant to chili, pepper, being Nigerian, everything we make has got chili in it. So I looked at this and I just thought, oh my God, how am I going to survive without chili? But, it's doable. But anyway, so chili was on there. There was gliadin, which is present in gluten, so wheat. So rice was there. So the food intolerance test was also grouped into different categories. It had like a red, yellow, and green section. So the red was definitely, I was intolerant to. The yellow ones I could have possibly like once a week or twice a week, and then I would have to stop eating it, or else it would cause some kind of reaction. So then and then there was the green ones, which consisted of mainly like fruits and vegetables that I could have that wouldn't harm me. So again, this was how I started my journey onto becoming erythema multiforme, free, symptom free. Obviously, I'm not like completely free of it. If I eat the wrong thing, I will get my symptoms will come back. But I do manage to stay free of erythema multiforme through my diet. This is absolutely important. Now, one thing the food intolerance test does not tell you is it doesn't have all the lists of foods that I grew up with, eating. So I had to basically use my body as some kind of, had to test a lot of things and weed it out once I started getting a reaction. So what I would do is if I was going to introduce something new that wasn't on the list, I would eat that thing for maybe 2 days and then see what would happen. And I find also that with the food intolerance test, that if you haven't been eating something in a while that's on the list, if you eat it, you won't have a reaction to it until the next time you eat it. Because the first time that you eat it, because you haven't eaten it in a long time, your body will clearly think it's a foreign object and it will start developing antibodies to this thing. It's not until the second time that you eat this thing that it will then react, because the antibodies will already be there. So one thing that you need to look out for on the food intolerance test are obviously foods. If you are from a different ethnicity background, then you need to check the foods that you eat, that you have grown up with, to see whether you would actually react to them. But I would advise introducing them, little by little. Another thing that the food intolerance test doesn't talk about is the preparation of food. Now, I found that I know now I can't eat anything that is deep fried where the oil has been reused. So I don't eat any sort of takeaways, no McDonald's, no KFC, no stuff where you don't even know what has gone into the cooking. I try to eat as close to nature as possible because I don't have any reactions that way. I don't eat things like crisps and biscuits in the shops. I don't eat anything that has just been readily made that I can find in the shop. I know that this is a very hard way to live your life, but believe me, it's the best way. And if it means that you are waking up without sores in your mouth or lesions on your skin, then come on, surely it is worth it. I don't eat chewing gum. Chewing gum is a killer. I love chewing gum, but I had to stop eating it. I don't know what it is that's in there that causes me to react, but it does. And other things I don't eat chili. I don't eat chili anymore. But another way of getting chili into your diet is through ginger, which I can tolerate. I don't have anything to do with dairy. I never really have. I don't eat cheese. I don't eat milk. So that was easy for me to cut out. I think one thing that I really struggled with was bread. I really loved my bread. And back in the day when this was diagnosed, there weren't, any sort of alternatives in the supermarkets. But now I go into the supermarkets and there's like an aisle of free-from foods, which is absolutely amazing. Some of them I can't have and they're processed, but I think the only thing that I really buy from the free-from section is really the milk. So I would buy coconut milk. That's really all I like, because I used to drink hemp seed milk until they sort of changed the taste of that. But yeah, coconut milk is good for me. But you just need to find what is good for you. So don't eat processed foods. Try and really pay attention to the food intolerance test. If you are going to introduce, I find also that with this erythema multiforme thing, I get these pustules or these things called spots on my face when I eat something in the yellow section. Like, for example, in my yellow section, there's corn, there's rice, and so when I eat these things, I find that I get these spots on my face, and these spots always come up the same way, in terms of they're sort of bent and then they always have like a white head. So I always know, okay, I've eaten something that I shouldn't have eaten in the yellow section. So I'm very careful of that. So if you're having acne with this horrible condition as well, know that it is related to something that you have eaten. I really hope that this video has or will help, enlighten you and allow you to begin to start to realize that diet plays an important part in getting your health back. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and ask me any questions, and I will be posting some more. Thank you and bye.